Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is of course only me again, and thank you all so much for tuning back in for another metal detecting adventure. So this week I have come to a really exciting pasture permission, and this is a field I've been wanting to get into for so long. And I know I say that every single week, but there's so many fields, so many interesting sites, and you just have to wait your turn to get into them. But the reason why this field is so good is because it was once the site of a very old medieval manor house, which dates back to the 1300s. And it's no longer here, it's just a field which has been ploughed as well. So our aim today will be to try and find out something which can date this house and tie it back into the people that once lived in this amazing site. And this field is filled with absolutely loads of interesting features and lumps and bumps. So we absolutely know there was something going on in this field, and we know roughly where the houses were in here, especially the big manor house, because we've traced it back to a very old map which actually shows the house still there in situ. So of course the big question is, will we find anything today that can put us in touch with the people that once occupied this site? And of course we've got all day to dig lots of holes to see what we can get out of here as well. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you enjoy my videos and you don't want to miss a weekly upload, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel by pushing the button below, and that means you'll get a notification every time a new video comes out. And if you want to help the channel grow, support what I do, give me a thumbs up and also hype the channel as well. That will mean a lot. But as I said, let's get digging some holes, and I of course will see you all on the very first hole. So imagine coming to the site of a medieval manor house, where the house no longer exists, it's just a field with possibly the remnants of the house underneath the ground for us to discover with our metal detector. What's one thing that you would want to come across as your very first target that will put you directly in touch with the people that once occupied this site? I think this is possibly just it. I have just discovered a huge padlock. Now, it looks like a really old one as well, and it's such a cool thing to find on your very first target, because I literally went straight to the site of where the old house was plotted on the map, so I'm detecting pretty much over the footprint of the house. And what an amazing thing to discover, a lock that they probably would have used for maybe their front door, or maybe their gate, or maybe a barn or something like that. And you can just imagine how many people have used this lock, put the key in it and turned it, and how important it actually was. Maybe this was the lock for the safe inside of the house, which housed all the money. Who knows, but it is a super interesting find for our very first find. Maybe we'll find the key that goes with it. Maybe we'll find the contents of which it was locking away. But for our very first find to come in straight down to something that puts you straight back to the people that lived here doesn't get much better than a whopping great big padlock. So we've just dug this massive great big hole, and it's probably about 10 inches down, and in the bottom of that hole we had this, which for the life of me I thought was a buckle at first. I honestly did think this was a really nice little decorative buckle, but on inspections and giving it a bit of a clean, I don't think it is. In fact, I don't really know what it is, but I'm sort of starting to think that it could be sort of furniture related or something like that, because again, quite decorative on one side and blank on the other means of course that it was only designed to be seen from one side. but then it does have this little notch here, which of course could have once housed a little pin that went across the middle. So it could be a buckle. I've never seen one like it, so I couldn't tell you exactly how old it is or if it is indeed a buckle worn by the person that used to live in this house or work in this house. But of course it could just be some random ornate furniture item as well. But it's copper alloy, lovely, absolutely stunning 83 target ID, and yeah, I'm quite glad I dug it out, but not too sure what it is. If you know what it is or want to have a guess, please leave a comment below and let me know. But let's move on and see what else we can find. So when we first came into this field, we went pretty much straight down on a huge padlock, which very possibly could have been the last padlock that secured this old manor site. And now we've just come down on something equally as personal to the people that might have once inhabited this site, because it's actually a tiny little thimble, and it's a complete one too, because it's a bit squashed, as you can see, but there's nothing broken. The top's still on there, and you can see all of the lovely detail as well all around this thimble. And it's a really nice example, and it's not a tremendously old one. You could probably put this back to maybe the 1700s, but more likely sort of 1800s, somewhere around there, I would suggest. And that could very well be from the time when this manor house was knocked down, because it got left in ruin. And of course everything inside the house went with it as well, and that's the noises that we're essentially picking up. So I just love to find things like this, because you know that somebody once put their finger inside of it and obviously did it for stitching purposes and all that sort of stuff. So it's a really, really personal item, and it's just another thing that we found that puts us straight back in touch with the people that once lived in this manor site. So we have now been detecting in this field for about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes. And we have just had so many signals in here. I haven't been able to film them all, because to film every target that I've had so far, that would be a whole video's worth. But I've tried to film the really interesting bits that I think you guys are going to want to see. And then I was walking along, still in the hot patch of where the house used to be, and I just had an 84 signal that I knew was going to be something so good. And I've dug it out, and something has come out of the ground, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a silver coin. But is it going to be a milled silver coin or a hammered silver coin? That is yet to be revealed. But come in, let's reveal it, and I'll show you, as I see it, what this coin is. Okay, so this is the coin just as I've picked it out of the ground, and you can still see it's got all the mud still attached to it. But what you can just see here is a lovely little silver edge poking through there, and I can't make out whether or not that's the silver edge of a hammered coin or a milled coin, but I think, I'm tempted to say, and I don't want to jinx it, I think it's a hammered coin, in which case it's going to be a big one, and I am so excited to see what this is. So without further ado, let's pick this mud off and reveal it together, because I am going to be so chuffed if we found a hammered coin in this field, because that is going to be an amazing thing. It's going to be amazing. Ooh. I've got no idea. I've got absolutely no idea. Is that even a coin, or is this a button? What an odd coin. Was not expecting that. So I can see on this side here that it's got an X and a 2. So an X is 10, 2 I's are 2. So that would mean that this is a 12 pence, so it's a shilling. So if this does turn out to be a coin, it's going to be a shilling. But I can't really see anything on there to suggest who that might be. I mean, it could be Charles I, right? He was the guy that put the actual numeric currency on his coins. But let's clean up the other sides and just see if we've got anything better on this side, because if it's Charles I, then we should have something on the other side. Oh my days. look at that. Put it in the camera for you so you can actually see it. Wow. That is most certainly a little Charles I 1 shilling, and it's made of solid silver, and it's a hammered coin, and it dates probably to about the early to mid 1600s, which is so cool because this is probably a silver coin that was once used, and it looks like it's been used a lot, but it was once used, spent and dropped by the people that likely lived in this house. So we know that there were definitely people here with coins, with money in the 1600s. That's absolutely amazing. What a truly amazing little find to come down on so early in this field. I'm absolutely chuffed with it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to clean it up just enough to get some really nice detail from it as well. But potentially a Charles I shilling hammered silver coin. Doesn't get much better than that. Well, if you thought the Charles I silver shilling was an amazing find, I have just had another target in this field, and I kid you not, it's probably about 7 or 8 meters away from where I found that Charles I coin. And it was a bit of an iffy signal, but I was like, I've got to dig it. It's a site where there's people that have been living here. The ground is obviously very polluted. No signal's going to sound as it should sound. And boy, am I glad that I did, because I think I've just found something super, super cool, super personal to the people that once lived here. And it's just so nice. It's so pretty. I haven't cleaned it yet. I'm going to do that for you now. So let's go in. I'll show you this one, and I think you're going to be pretty amazed. Okay guys, so this is the little find that's just come out of the ground, and I saw this bit first and I thought, wow, well, that's not a coin, but it looks silver and it looks really, really intricate. And it was a bit of an iffy signal, if I'm honest with you. It was a sort of weird kind of 60 to 64, but you know, everything in here, because it's a settlement site, is not going to be its true sort of target ID because of all the other things in the ground. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to dig it and look at what's come out. And if you loved that side, wait till you see the other side. Are you ready for this? Oh my goodness. It looks like a huge, big green garnet, or possibly a green stone or something like that. And if you catch it in the sunlight, you can just see it bouncing off the corner of where that garnet or stone is cleaned. And we have obviously just gone and found an absolutely stunning little piece of jewellery. And I don't think this is imitation jewellery. I honestly think this is going to be somebody's prized possession, and it might even have real diamonds on here. It's just amazing. I have honestly not found anything like this in so long, and because this is going to be so personal to the people that once lived here, it just has such an interesting story to tell as well. I've got to be so careful about how I clean this, because one thing I don't want to do is knock any of these stones out and remove any of the decoration, but potentially this is a really important little piece of jewellery, and I can guarantee you whoever lost this, however many hundreds of years ago, was absolutely gutted. And we have come along and found it, and oh my goodness, what an amazing, amazing little thing. So I'm going to actually clean this one properly. I'm going to get some water and I'm going to spray it, and then I'll come back and I'll show you it cleaned. I think it's such an important find that it deserves that respect. I'm not just going to go in there, start picking this off and brushing it. We've got to treat this one with careful hands, and I'll do that now. I'll come back and I will show you what it looks like. Well, we have given it a slight squirt of water and a gentle clean, and oh my days, have a look at how beautiful this little thing is. I didn't really grasp how many of these sort of little maybe sort of diamantes, but it could just be polished stone, sort of stones that are going all the way around the outside of it. But that green stone in the middle is just so striking. And what I really like about this particular find is that when you turn it over, it's not silver, it's actually gold, but it is gold plated. It's not solid gold. So that does mean you have to question if these are going to be precious stones. I don't think they are, but what a personal little item from somebody that used to live in the house in the field that we are in. And you can just see this, can't you, on the lady of the house's hat or maybe their coat. And obviously it's just broken off, because on the back you would have seen the little pin there and the attachment for it to actually go onto the garment as well. But I am so happy with that. I'm so glad that it's cleaned up really nicely, and I should be able to get it cleaned up even more and get a nice picture of it on the video for you as well. But what an amazing little find, what an amazing little field. Okay, so I am now over the excitement of finding that absolutely amazing piece of jewellery. What a find that really is, honestly. I can't wait to give it a good proper cleanup. But anyway, we have come down on another find in this field. Now, I honestly didn't think that this would be very much at all, because I just sort of saw this poking out of the ground, didn't really see anything on there, gave it a light rub, and then when I flipped it over, I saw something on here which was super cool. Now, I'm trying to make sure that I get this in shot on camera as best as possible so that you can see what I saw when I flipped this over. But it looks, for the life of me, like a little portrait of a king or something like that, because you can see the hair, which has got some amazing detail in it. You can see the face there as well, his eye, his nose, and then on the top is a crown. And it almost looks like a sort of portrait of like a medieval king or something like that. Something that you would expect to see on a really old medieval coin. But this, of course, isn't a coin. It's made of copper alloy and it's square. Now, I've found things like this before, and a majority of them have turned out to be coin weights. But I have never found a coin weight that looks like this, has this much detail on it. So I don't really sort of know if it is a coin weight or not. And if it is, then it's a pretty unusual one with some amazing sort of details left on it. And it makes me wonder whether or not this is medieval. Could it be post-medieval, Tudor, something like that? It's a super interesting find. I'll have to do a bit of research on this one to figure out whether or not it is a coin weight. Is it some type of coin? It's completely blank on that side. There's absolutely nothing, which suggests that probably is a coin weight. So it's a little device used to put on scales to weigh a coin, to make sure that the coin hasn't been clipped and that it is of a precious metal. But what type of coin is it? Does anyone out there watching this video know the answer to that question? If you do, or you can help me ID this coin weight, then please pop it in the comments below and help me out, because chances are I might not be able to find another example like this online, in which case I'll have this wonderful thing with this wonderful portrait and never truly be able to actually identify it. But it's just another amazing find from this field, and it's a really surprising place. And I did think stuff would be in here, but just didn't think we'd be getting such amazing things like the bits that we've had coming out of here. Oh my goodness, this field honestly is just producing find after find after find, and it must be all down to the old manor house that was once in this field. Now, I haven't really been digging that junk recently either, so I've literally just been coming on to a good find, and now we've just had another good find, or at least I think it's a good find. So I had this target here, and it was coming up at around sort of 64 to 65, but it wasn't a steady number. It was quite scratchy, and that sort of made me think it might just be a piece of junk. But something in the back of my mind thought, could be something just really deep that's being masked by the soil. So I started to dig. This thing was probably about a foot into this hole, and even then I had to put my pinpointer in the bottom of it, then get my spade in, dig one last bit out, and this has just popped out. So I cannot emphasize how deep this thing was. And this XP 2 running the Legacy 3.1 program and using the firmware 3.10 is nailing it. I'm not even exaggerating that. It's missing nothing, whether it's big, whether it's small, whether it's deep, whether it's lying next to something that's junk. It's just finding it. It's impeccable. But I think it's silver. I think it looks good. I hope it's good anyway. But let's go in, let's give it a clean off together, and hopefully we found something awesome. So this is as it's come out of the ground, and as you can see, this is the little thing that I just saw poking out there. Now, it does look silver, but I don't know what it is. It's not a coin or anything like that, but it could just be a really nice little artifact. But I think we should pick this out of the mud and see exactly what we're dealing with here. Is this going to be anything amazing? Maybe it could be some more jewellery or something. Who knows? Who knows? But oh wow, that is so cool, and it's so decorative too, and it's sort of narrower at one end, and it has a little hole here, almost like it was part of a whistle, and it's got some features on there which, you know, certainly look medieval. They certainly do, because you can see all the dots along the top here, very similar to how you would get on a medieval coin. And of course it's got some more decoration on it as well. But again, this is a find that deserves a little brush with the toothbrush. So let's just see if we can clean it up a bit to get some more details from this. But I'm 100% certain that it's silver. I just don't really know what it is at this stage. It could be a whistle. It could be a silver whistle, and in which case this would be a really, really cool little find. Oh, it is a little silver whistle because of this end here. You see how it's flat, so it was designed to obviously go into your mouth, but it's a strange one, isn't it? It's a really, really odd little item. Is this a whistle? I mean, it's got to be a whistle. It has got, there we go, there's a whistle in the background. It's telling me that this is most certainly a whistle. But how old is it? Is this medieval? Is this post-medieval? Who knows? But what I do know is that we are honestly absolutely smashing it in this field today. It's just amazing. I love going to sites where there's so much history, and you know, you get to dig things that once again are really, really personal to people. And because we know that there was a house here in the Doomsday times, in the 1200s, there must have been people living here. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it, what time period this whistle came from, and who used it, who owned it, and when they lost it, how they lost it. So many lovely questions. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. I will try and clean it up the best I can, get a picture of it on the video for you. Once again though, if you've got any suggestions with regards to the age of this amazing little artifact, which could potentially turn out to be treasure. If this is over 300 years old, this could very well be treasure. But I will keep you posted. I'll put as much information as I can find out about it on the video for you. But there we are. It's another amazing silver artifact from this manor field. So I've just had this really interesting little copper alloy thing come out of the field, and I was just like, what is that? It was so decorative. It had these two little spiky bits here, and I thought, wow, this is going to be something really, really cool. And I was scratching my head for a little bit, trying to think of what it was, and then it suddenly just came to me. So the thing that gave it away was this kind of center bit here with the little hole in, and what I think this actually was is part of a really decorative buckle. And I think it was actually the center part of the buckle, and there probably would have been a pin coming up through here, a pin coming up through there, and then maybe an outer bit going all the way around here as well. But it's such a beautifully decorative little thing. It is a shame that obviously we didn't find the entirety of the buckle, because that would have been a monumental find. But this is probably going to date to the 1600s or something like that, I would imagine. And being so ornate and decorative probably means that it came from a dress or something like that. It was designed to be seen by many people and admired, because so much work had gone into this to make it look so nice. So I think that's what it is. I think it's the little center part to a decorative buckle. But of course, if you're watching this and you're going, no, it's not, it's one of those, then don't keep your thoughts to yourself. Pop them in the comments below and let me know. Let's share our knowledge. But yeah, I think it's a little decorative center part of a buckle. But if you disagree, let me know. Let's carry on and see what else we can find. So do you remember towards the start of the video, we had a random little square thing with the picture of a king on there, and I thought it was a coin weight. Well, it still might be a coin weight, to be honest with you. However, this one is absolutely a little coin weight, but it's round, it's not square, so it's a little bit different to the one that we found earlier on in the video. And I think this one is a bit older. And the reason why is because when I flip it over, you get to see the amazing detail on that side. And I'm tempted to say that this could very well be the coin weight for a gold coin. Now, it could be an angel, it could be a noble or something like that. I can't, to be honest, remember what that picture is with regards to which coin it actually refers to. But it's got the kind of boat at the bottom here, something going on at the top. And to think that this here was a coin weight specifically just to weigh gold hammered coins is a truly exciting thought, isn't it? Because imagine if in this field was also the gold hammered coins that this coin weight related to. They used to keep coin weights like this in the same purse as the gold coins, because that way they couldn't get lost, and when they needed to verify that it was the correct weight of gold and it hadn't been clipped, they could just pull the coin weight out, put it on the scales and check each coin as well. So it's interesting to think that if a coin weight's in a field, where are the coins that went with it? Because, you know, it's just odd, isn't it, that one little coin weight from possibly the 1400s just ends up in a field, but the gold coins didn't, and could be that they went and picked them up and spent them, and I can't blame them if they did. But yeah, we've just gone and found an awesome little coin weight again, so that could possibly be 2 coin weights in this amazing field, and I am chuffed to bits with that because I collect them. But yeah, there we go. Let's see what else we can get. So it is approaching 5 o'clock now, and we have been in here since about 9:30 this morning. To say I've had an amazing day is just an understatement. We've had some awesome finds in the site of this old manor house, and it's produced once again, because I am pretty much done for the day. I'm just kind of heading back towards where I parked the car, get a really nice little sweet sort of 58 to 60 signal. I dug it out, wasn't actually that deep, this one, and what I've gone and found is absolutely wicked. It's so cool. So what I actually think this little find is, of course, is a hammered coin. It's absolutely a hammered coin, but obviously it's broken. Yeah, they can't all be good. They can't all be good. But one thing that I love about this coin is that it's certainly a medieval coin. And what I also like about it is it's a long cross, so it's a voided long cross. What made it a voided long cross was because, of course, it had the cross on the front, but in the middle of the cross was this void, and they basically got rid of that eventually because they'd worked out that people were just clipping it, so they wanted to try and stop people from clipping coins. So they went from the short cross to the voided long cross to the normal long cross penny. The idea of the voids, by the way, were to make it easy for people to clip them into halves and quarters, because that, of course, was the small change of the medieval period. You had 1 penny, and if you didn't want to spend that penny, you would break it into half and then into quarters. So it made it easy for the population to sort of dish these out. But this is a very early coin. I'm tempted to say this is, I mean, maybe a Henry II or something like that, but to be honest, I'm not up to scratch with my sort of earlier medieval coins whatsoever. However, what's really cool about this is that it probably dates to the 1200s, and in which case we have just gone and found the earliest thing in this field, which dates back to this house. And that is a truly awesome thing, because this house was meant to be here in the 1200s. There's a local document stating that there was a dwelling here all the way back then. And this coin just so happens to date to the 1200s. So possibly, as our last find of the day, we have found one of the earliest things associated with the people that once lived here and settled on this site. That is an achievement. Happy days. And there we are, guys. We are now at the end of what has been a truly amazing day detecting in the site of this old manor house. We have found some amazing things which really puts us back in touch with the people that once lived here, worked here and farmed the land. We couldn't have asked for any better to come out of the ground. And I really hope you've enjoyed seeing some of those amazing bits come out as well. Of course, if you've enjoyed this video and you like this kind of thing, do consider to subscribe. It's completely free. There's a button down below, you push it and it means you get a notification every time I upload a new video. And of course, show your support, hit the hype button and the like button, that will mean a lot. But I am off home now to clean some finds. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the very next dig.